right, welcome back. We're going to act like this is the first time we've pushed record here and get right back into the podcast. Tucker, welcome back.
Hey, it's good to be back, man. How are you?
I'm doing good. It's been too long. We've been busy. Yep.
Yeah.
Is there a busy season at Chick-fil-A?
Um, Today,
Always. Life.
tomorrow.
That's crazy. Not tomorrow, right? I mean,
Oh
technically.
yeah, tomorrow is Sunday. Never mind. I forgot.
Yeah, this is crazy.
The
Yeah,
line's the
we got.
line's short, but the wait's long on a Sunday.
Well,
So
that is true. That's true. That is a long wait. We hit our Christmas light season. We normally start that in July, August, and I think the last time we recorded was August. So
uh,
we yeah, we've been busy. So
so I,
you
I, I noticed that you got a TV spot on your
yeah,
Christmas lights. How'd that go?
it was cool. We we got on a local news channel. They did an interview with us, kind of like a spotlight.
Uh,
And I knew when it went live because immediately at the exact same time, I got like 5 phone calls. And so
wow.
people that were watching it all called at the same time. And I didn't know what was going on, but I was like, what is happening? But
Yeah,
somehow they all got through at the same time. It was crazy. But
dude,
yeah,
that's
that was
awesome.
fun. But Christmas lights was crazy. And then our off season in July or January taking everything down. And of course, February's been nuts. So
Yeah,
good
I was
times.
I was thinking about doing my own Christmas lights at our store. Still thinking about it,
Yeah.
uh, but we ended up using these gel covers like they use for stage lighting,
Mhm.
and literally just put them over the lights, and voila, with green and red. It was Christmassy. It was great.
Perfect. Yeah, you
That's
can't beat
that's
that.
that's phase one. Phase two,
Much cheaper.
I'll yeah, it was like $20.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
so
awesome.
phase two is going to be. I'd like to get some permanent lighting so
Oh,
we can
yeah.
just pop on the street corner because it's pretty dark. There's not a lot of street lights I've noticed in Colorado. So
Well, some of those permanent lights too, you can just switch to, like, Valentine's Day. You can switch it to,
yes,
like, pink or red, and 4th of July, red, white, blue. Yeah, that'd be kinda cool.
yeah, yeah.
It's a good
So
idea.
yeah.
Well, we're gonna get back to it. You pick up any new hobbies or anything over the last 6 months?
I got into ice fishing.
Okay.
Yeah,
Ice
it's
fishing.
it's fun, man.
I Yeah, you could probably do it up there. I can't do that here. We don't stay that cold.
Yeah. No, we went out and it was beautiful, and we had a hand auger. So we were drilling through 2 feet of ice, and
That's
I
crazy.
decided I'd throw my gym membership away and just go ice fishing each week.
No kidding.
And we dug like 30 plus holes. So
Was that scary the first time you went out on the ice?
no, not so much because I knew how thick it was, but
Yeah.
the creepy thing is when you get out there and you're in this huge lake, and we were into this one lake. There's not a lot of people out, and then as the sun would rise, the UV starts to heat up the ice and
Mm.
whatnot, and you hear it just the crack just echo through the whole. It is the weirdest sound. It's kind
Yeah.
of eerie because it's just quiet, and you just hear it go. it's
That's
it's pretty,
crazy.
pretty gnarly, but it's fun. We've only caught one so far. My son caught a 17-inch rainbow, so
Oh, man. That's crazy that they can survive like that. Just
yeah.
that cold under the ice. Like, I guess I don't know much about it, but that's nuts.
Yeah.
Well, last time we left off, we were talking about the next episode being the next week. And we were going to talk about our core values. And so we're just going to pick up where we left off
Okay.
and just talk through core values. You want to go first?
Sure. I'll go first. So when we do our introduction or orientation for our team members, we talk about the vision, the mission, the core values, and then talk about how the core values play into all that. And so, vision is the destination, right? It's like we're going on vacation, and you got the vehicle, which is your mission that gets you there. So the core values, in my mind, are the engine that drive the mission. And so, uh, they're core to us. They're central to our organization, and they're all things that we share in common that we value, right? I mean, it's a value, something you place a worth on, and so not everybody shares the same values, and so we want to find those that that share them at some level, some degree. So in my mind, we're not trying to, when we're hiring, we're not trying to reform people to fit into our core values.
Hmm.
We're trying to find those that possess it. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Uh,
absolutely.
it's just a lot easier to someone has some set of ownership just to sharpen them in that area. So, anyways, our
Really
core
quick,
value.
that's a really good point. I was thinking about that the other day because we've lost a couple of employees to different uh, just turnover
Sure.
for
Yeah.
especially for a service company. I know you know what that's like.
Right.
Um, but one thing I was thinking through in the hiring process was you can teach somebody how to clean a window. You
Yep.
can teach somebody how to make a chicken sandwich, but you can't teach somebody how to be a servant, or I get you can, but how to
They,
have that in them. You know what I
right.
mean?
Right.
So
And for
to
you, you're going to have the to launch them to be successful in your business. They got to have some. They have to have a degree of that.
right. So I mean, you can develop it, and that's I'll talk about that in a second with ours. But there is like there's something that's within somebody. It can be nourished, but if it's not there, it's not there.
Right. Right.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
So
Let me
go
pause
ahead.
there.
What were you?
Let me pause right there because my son is
I got you. Go ahead.
he's warning me right now. Well,
Yeah, that's awesome. So, what I was saying is when in the hiring process, what we were looking at was and just doing interviews and trying to um, get people in the door to try to meet people. That was the biggest thing that we ran into. It was I can teach somebody how, like I said, to clean a window. I can teach somebody how to go out and to interact with other people. I can teach people how to go out um, and kind of go above and beyond and like hold the door for people when we're cleaning, smile, pay attention, try to make an impact on the people that we deal with on a regular basis through our commercial routes. All of that can be in the training process. But one thing that we kind of picked up on was I can't teach somebody to have a drive in their soul. I can't I can try to inspire, I can try to encourage people to do that. But there comes a point when if you're an entrepreneur, you have that. It's in you. It's innate in you. If um, you have that as an entrepreneur, that's something that's a gift that I don't think a lot of people have. Tucker, I muted you just in case. There you go.
yeah.
But like, if you're listening to this podcast and you want to start your own business, you probably have those intangibles. You probably have something within you that says, I'm going to go when nobody goes. I'm going to not stop. I'm not going to give up. I'm going to keep pushing. I'm going to keep pursuing. That's not something you can really teach somebody. That's what I've learned over the last 3 4 years. Some people just have it, some people don't. And it's not a bad thing. It doesn't make somebody less valuable. Um, just some people have it and some people don't.
Mhm.
Do you run into that at all with like management and promoting people from within?
Like that don't share the values, or
Yeah, so like cuz surely you have to hire people a lot more than I do. You have probably a lot more turnover than I do just because of the volume. But so you probably hire some people that don't have the initiative to want to be the man or to be like the owner one day or own their own Chick-fil-A. So is it most of the time the managers are the people who have that within them?
yeah, I mean we most of our people we've promoted started out as team members.
Right.
Those have been the most successful, and so they just rise to the top in a lot of ways just because of the things that they possess already: initiative, ownership, urgency. They care. They show up on time.
Right.
It's already in them to some degree, and so it's just a matter of time for us to refine them in some ways, and and so yeah, it's more successful when they start out, and I prefer that, as um, they come on as a team member, they know what's expected of them and know
So
the results.
it's almost separate from core values, but it's the core values help you guide them or pinpoint them in the right direction. Does that make sense? Is that right? In your
Well, so the way the core values, we integrate those into a lot of things. Obviously, in our hiring, right, we ask
right.
questions that pertain to it, and so we identify them. Hopefully, ideally, we'd be able to identify them in the initial process, and then we'd never have turnover, right? Because
Right.
they would all be stellar. But sometimes, people, they just get through, and sometimes you just need a body,
Right.
and you try to develop them and help them along as much as possible. And they might not possess all your core values; they might possess, three or four of them, right? Um, and you can, and then you can reinforce. And that's the thing; you just got to reinforce them through various things. So, like, our systems are, related to our core values. Like, for them to be accomplished well, like teamwork, you know, uh, their systems require them to work together. And
Mhm.
so if they do not like people, they do
Right.
not like working, like they like the desk cubicle job where it's all on them.
Mhm.
They're not. They're going to quickly realize that this is not the job for them.
Right.
So, because sometimes
That's
people
interesting.
just they just need a job, and so they'll take
Mhm.
whatever comes.
Right. Yeah. So what are some of yours? Do you want to go through them
Yeah,
or
yeah. So our core values, we have one word, and then and I obviously there's not a template that's the right thing for a core value, right? So
Mhm.
we use one word and then we define it. And so we have five of them. They spell the word set go. And
Hmm.
so the first one is selflessness, and that's to think others first. Excellence is to pursue mastery. Teamwork is the whole is greater than the sum of the individual parts. And then growth is continuous improvement. Ownership is to accept responsibility. And so
Mm.
uh, we and I'll go through and define those through like orientation and whatnot. But to help reinforce those, uh, I like to identify behaviors in the restaurant
Mm.
that illustrate every core value. So, selflessness, thinking others first. When you come into the restaurant, are you thinking about your break, or are you thinking about how you can help your team member succeed in that position, right? To have a successful shift. Are you coming in and seeing how can I help my shift leader have a good, smooth um, uh, shift? Am I volunteering for the jobs that are least desirable, right? And then excellence, pursue mastery. That's in a lot of ways is you know uh, that when someone is ordering whatever item, whatever entree, are they getting what's pictured? Right? You
Mm.
ever go to a restaurant and you order something that's there's a picture right there,
Yeah.
you get it, it looks nothing like it. Like that is not excellence, right?
Right.
So excellence is they're getting exactly what they see in that picture. Uh, in the bagging process, like when you put the food in the bag, are you just throwing it in there and everything's
Mm.
just strewn apart, or does everything fit like a Tetris game? Right,
Mm.
everything perfect. So when they open it up, it's like opening up an Apple iPad, right? Like
Right.
that box is definitely a definition of excellence right there. It's an
For sure.
experience. So uh, and then ownership. When you're wrong, do you admit it? Do you take responsibility for that? Right. So I try to illustrate those, and then when we do leadership meetings, at times we'll say, "Hey, who this week exemplified excellence? Name a team member." You know,
Mm.
when we do uh, employee of the month, right? Go through the list of the core values. So it's a continuous process of reinforcing, reminding. instilling them in your team, you modeling them. Like
Mhm.
one of the things about leadership is they have to embody the values. They have to be a model team member in that. And so, and then they're just going to be successful that way. Them doing all this builds trust with their team members. So when they become in a leadership position, they don't have to spend time trying to get people to follow them. They already do.
Right.
So to me, like just like a vehicle without an engine is worthless, a mission without core values is going to you're not going to make any progress. And so
Yeah, that's it. So are those yours or are those Chick-fil-A's? Is
those are
that kind
mine.
of a mix? So you get to come up with your own?
Mhm. Yeah.
That's cool.
So I've used those in I use those in window cleaning. I mean, honestly, these to me in these core values, it's going to help them succeed in the restaurant and beyond. Like
Right.
they do this, their life's just going to be that much better. Honestly,
Well, we must have talked to you about ours because ours are very similar, which is kind of cool. But before I go into ours, I was going to say, kind of as the solopreneur type guy, if there's people that are listening, develop these for yourself. Like this isn't just you're talking in a team of 100, and that's just the way that your world works. But
right?
I can tell you for EZ, this is for teams of 5, 8. This is for teams of 3. So this is a big deal. But I was sitting there as you were talking about it, and I was thinking, you kind of alluded to it there at the end. Um, as a person, you should have some core values. So
Yeah,
even if it's just you and whatever you're doing, set up your core values and almost make them um, make them a standard for your life. Like, there are lines that I'm not going to cross, like there's things that I'm just not going to ever do. And it's a conviction in my life. So
yeah,
as a solopreneur, whether you want to grow or not, make these convictions, like, I'm going to do the right thing no matter what. I'm going to go above and beyond. I'm always going to detail. I'm always going, detail that window, or like you said, pack the bag right,
right.
with the
Exactly.
food. Make it a conviction so that if down the road you do get to hire,
Hmm.
um, those people, like you said, just want to follow you and follow
Right.
your lead.
It's important, like you said, when you're a solopreneur, to do them now, develop them now, rather than hiring someone and then trying to figure it out as
Right.
you go. Operate. If you're, I used to tell, my team, or even when you had the window cleaning business, I operated like I had 25 employees, and I had two,
Right.
me and the other guy. So
Right.
when he said, "Hey, can I have tomorrow off?" I said, "Did you put a 2 week notice in?"
Right. Yeah.
Right. So develop them now, and then yeah, and then when it time comes, you're ready to fire.
Yeah, and that's the crazy thing, is it kind of feels dumb. It can feel like, oh, I shouldn't be like that. But if your purpose is to grow and to own a business that has multiple employees, you have to do it. You,
Hmm.
you have to. And that's a mistake I made. I when it was just me doing my thing, I didn't treat things like I should have. And then whenever we started adding people, and then we started adding admin, and they started, like, Justin started to have to make systems, he had a mess. it
Right.
was it was terrible. He had a big old mess in his hands, and he had to take a plate of spaghetti and unwind it all. It was awful.
Yeah, I
So
was there too. Yeah, and that
just
goes back to your vision for the business. Like
yeah, for sure.
you know, you like we started out with window cleaning. We didn't really think it'd be bigger than just one person. And
Right.
then you're like, wow. Then you think about the opportunities.
Right.
Then you start dreaming for it. You start there and work backwards. And
Right.
yeah,
Yeah. So even as a solopreneur, have some core values, make them a part of your life, and like you said, it'll make you a better person for
yeah.
sure.
So what are yours?
Um, so we've got 6, and they're actually pretty similar. We do a one word, and so in our graphic world, it's all our color and our
Okay.
our teal, um, like that color right there.
Oh yeah.
Um, but we preface all of them with "we are."
Hmm.
So they all say, "We are." We are. And actually, on our social media over the last couple of months, we've been posting them and just trying to share with people what they are, and then it's actually been kind of cool because we've had random Google reviews that embody our values, and so we kind of post
Cool.
those all together. So it's been really cool. But ours are number one, we are servants. Number two, we are excellent. Number three, we are one team. The fourth one's we are skilled, and then
Yeah,
we are hungry, and then the last one is we are tenacious.
that's great.
And so very similar to yours, very similar to
Sure.
yours. Um, but but those are what we kind of fell to. Number one being we are servants because that's what we are. I mean, that's what we want to do in a service company. Um, we're serving, and so
Right.
we want to wash people's feet. And we have a description with all of them too. I'll go ahead and read the we are servants. We keep the needs of our customers and each other at the heart of our work, doing what's best for the business and what's best for them. So everything we do, we try to wash their feet and above and beyond, and just try to stand out that way. A lot of times when you get in this world, especially competitive, you kind of want to step on the other guy, or
Mm.
or do whatever it takes to rise to number one, to
Sure.
become number one. And the paradigm shift that needs to happen, as a Christian, what we need to understand is that the way you become the greatest is by serving everybody else. You become the
Right.
least.
Yeah.
And that's just a biblical principle that Jesus taught. And so if you want to be the best, you have to serve everybody. And you don't have to go out there and do whatever it takes to be number one. You just serve.
Right.
So,
A lot,
kind
a
go
lot
ahead.
of people that think that they have to be number one, they have that scarcity mentality. Like
Right.
there's, I gotta, I gotta kill the competition and take all
Yep.
market share.
Yep.
Whereas the abundance mentality is the servant mentality. Like there's plenty for everybody. I'm here just to serve those that come along our way. You
Right.
know, and that's your greatest,
It stands out.
too. Yeah.
Yeah, for me that was hard because I was that way at the
Yeah.
beginning. It was I'll kill anybody, like we will destroy other companies.
Right.
And when Justin in particular came on, it was like, hey, you don't need to be like that. That's not a servant. That's not somebody who's going to actually rise to do the best job that they can do. And it really did change my perspective
Yeah.
on it. So it's been a game changer for me. And honestly, a lot of that is just based in insecurity.
Yeah. Right. It
And
is.
and it was like that was a weird thing for me to come to, is like I don't need to be insecure. We do a good job, we're a great company, and we're fine, you
Well,
know.
it's funny because like when you talk about that, my neighbor was the other window cleaner in town.
Mm,
We're like,
that's crazy.
yeah, but we were best friends, man. Our
That's cool.
kids were best friends. Like we played together. Like there was so much out there,
Yeah.
and he'd pass some my way, I pass some his way, just depending on our service, areas and all that. And
Right.
it was yeah, it was funny, it was interesting, but like yeah, great family, loved it.
That's crazy. So our first one is we are servants. Our second one is we are excellent.
Yeah,
And that's one of the things where, like, as a solopreneur, I would encourage you to have something like that, just because that's going to make you do the little things. It's going to kind of make you go above and beyond. Don't skimp out. Don't not wipe the sill. Do what you need to do, and be excellent. So our description for that is constantly striving to be the best is the best. Excuse me. Constantly striving to be the best of the best is in our DNA. Everything we do is to the best of our ability, because true character demands nothing less. So that's the thing. When nobody else is looking, are you going to do what it takes? Are you going to be excellent? So um, we are one team. Teamwork and collaboration are at the center of what we do. We leverage the individual strengths of our diverse talent to innovate our care for our customers, contractors, and fellow team members. And so, we're working with the customers, we're working with other contractors, we're working with each other, and we're going to do everything in our power to be the best we can for each other. So we're one team. We are skilled. Our level of experience and professionalism is unmatched by most. We take great pride in our ability to problem solve, think outside of the box, and achieve top-notch results.
Mm,
So
good.
it just kind of pushes the individual workers to figure it out. Be a problem solver. That's what a skilled person does. The last two were kind of interesting. They're close, but they're just different enough where we wanted to separate them. It's we are hungry and we are tenacious, and so there's subtle differences in them. Um, and I'll read the description. We are hungry. We find energy in adapting and reinventing how we do things, from the way we work to how we care for others. We are never satisfied to remain as we are, but we focus on growing and learning every single day. So the idea for hungry is just always looking for the opportunity to be a little bit better, always looking for the opportunity to grow. And then tenacious, we give our very best every day and then some. We face our work and our lives with courage, determination, and intentionality to achieve what is required of us. So that's the grit. The I'm not going to stop. I'm going to
Right.
go. I'm going to be a winner, and I'm going to conquer.
Hmm.
So kind of sub our sub statement for our values is serving God and developing conquerors. And so that idea is, kind of plays on all of them, because if you're going to be a conqueror, you're going to be a guy who's just going to go out and do whatever it takes to win. Well, no, you're going to be a servant to be a conqueror.
Right.
You have to be a teammate to be a conqueror. You can't do it by
Yep.
yourself. You have to be tenacious. You have to be hungry. You have to be skilled and excellent. So it's kind of this is the way we develop conquerors in life and in business.
Yeah.
So it's kind of that's our core values. That's what we do.
That's awesome, man. That's great.
It's hard to implement them sometimes.
Yeah.
It's hard not implement them, but keep them at the forefront and apply them. Um,
Hmm.
I'll
We,
post a picture of it, but we hung banners in our shop,
yeah,
and just to keep them in our minds. But
yeah, we definitely need to do a better job of it as well. And as the owner, it's our responsibility to keep it in front of everybody, like
right.
vision wise. So we go over it every at the beginning of every meeting. We go over vision, mission, and core values,
Hmm.
and then every once in a while we'll talk about like, so who's been excellent this week, right? But we're gonna get some banners and put them up so they're in front of everybody. I'll do the mission and the vision as well because these are all electronic and
Right.
they have them and they're on stickers. They're everywhere, but just trying to find other places to put them in front of people, and then kind of have to systematize the you get the behavior you reward, and so
Hmm.
try to put those into systems where you're calling out when people are doing that. And so I've seen places we probably will do this is have a chat room where you celebrate wins and whatnot,
Right.
and you can identify, hey, this person did this, and then connect it to a core value. And that's why I like when you give the concept, you for us we need to bring it down to behaviors really,
Hmm.
and tell them what that behavior is, and just kind
Right.
of serve it to them that way rather than saying, hey, go be selfless.
Right.
You say, hey, go take out the trash for that guy, go fill the ice for that person, uh, stuff
Do
like that.
you find good with that app, the communication app that you guys use? Does that What does that do for your team? Is that really good, or do they
Oh
use it? Is it kind of they don't
yeah.
really use it? What's that like?
Yeah, it definitely works for leadership very, very well, and then team members more so. It's one of those things. It's like a blog. If the blog's not updated, people stop using it, right? Or
Right.
going to it. So for the app, we keep funneling information through there, and so that's the only place they can get the information. So that forces them and kind of creates a habit of them looking at it all the time. There's
Right.
also different chat rooms that they would frequent, and so it because we force ourselves to use it as a system. If they don't, they'll if they don't look at that information, it will be seen in their performance, right?
Right.
They'll miss. I'll post the team party in there, and that's the only place I'll post it. So if they don't know anything
So you
about it,
kind of force them.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's their fault. You know,
Yeah.
one of my big things might make this a core value is helping people grow up. And so, like, I'm not going to hold your hand. And this is kind of the
Right.
ownership side of it, right? I'm not going to spell everything out for you. I will give you the resources and the skills, but you got to put forth the effort.
Right.
I'm not going to make you put forth the effort. So
Right.
and I can't, like, with 120 people, I can't manage everybody's individual request or whatever it is. So it has
Right.
to all be systematized for that.
Well, and that's just like another layer for me to think through is like to get from where I am to that seems daunting, but it's probably super necessary. I was going to try to it's not probably it is super necessary. I was going to try to send this and just pull it up on the screen for people on YouTube, but I'll just hold up my phone the old way. Those are
Oh,
our banners in our shop,
that's cool, man.
and so you can just kind of see those every day as they come in. They get to kind of see those. So that's a crude way of doing it, but um,
It's like
that's kind of
it reminds me of like hanging jersey banners in a stadium.
exactly, and that's the thing is we're all sports minded, so everything we do kind of has that sports
That's cool.
feel. But the picture of the value is our guys doing that value, if that
Yeah,
makes sense. So it's kind of cool. So they themselves are on the banner in the wall in the shop, which is kind of neat. It's been
yeah,
fun,
that's good.
but
I like that. I'll probably expound on that on ours and put that in a. We at our church they did that. They would have the
mm,
values of the church, and then they would write a blurb about it.
yeah,
And it was around the walls. You walked and you read them all the time. You knew what they were because it was always in
yeah.
front of
Well, it definitely helps when they're always there.
you. Yeah.
That's for sure.
All right.
Let's should we talk about our sponsor?
Why not?
All right, I'm going to throw in the transition here real quick. I made that, so I love it. It's
That's
awesome.
cool.
Kaffa Bun is our sponsor. You got him right over your shoulder there.
Yes.
I think they're gonna be like a lifetime sponsor. We're just gonna keep them forever.
Oh yeah.
They're
I'm
the
drinking it
best.
right now. I drink it 3 times a day.
I love it.
Morning, afternoon.
In your
Yeah.
fancy cup.
Fancy cup. Yep.
It warms up your. You said it warms up your coffee throughout the day.
It keeps it at a constant temperature of 130 degrees.
That's crazy.
Yes. So
Is that the perfect drinking temperature?
that's what I'm told. I don't know if it is, but I like it. So, you ever drink a cup of coffee and you get down to here and it's like
Right.
ice cold,
Uh
you
huh.
just throw it out. It stays the same temperature all the way through to the very end.
Okay. So every sip is the same.
Yes.
I'm gonna throw their picture right here. Kaffa Bun Roastery. They're the best. The Spivies are the best. Um, are you still on the monthly order
Oh yeah.
plan?
Oh yeah.
So you don't have to say anything. They just show up.
Yes. It is
That's
wonderful.
awesome.
And I have the right amount because literally when my last bag is gone, there shows up. It's wonderful.
That's awesome.
Yes.
That's a
I
cool system.
try to keep a reserve just in case I
Right.
have people over and I go through a little bit more than usual. So,
Right.
but
Right.
it's
Or if it
really
snows eight
yes,
feet and you
yeah.
can't get your packages.
This one was roasted on 210, and I probably got it on 212.
That's awesome. They're the best. I mean, you're talking about if you listen to this podcast and you've got like a shop or cubicles and all this kind of stuff and you provide coffee,
Yep.
this is what you need to do.
Yeah.
Support a small business. So that's better than Folgers, like blows Folgers out of the water. And you get it super fresh. Like you're not going to buy it at the store and get it that fresh
Yep.
anywhere.
And it's
So
done with excellence, if you want to say that.
that's right. I wish we had their core values with us right now because I know they have them
Yep.
and they are excellent.
Yep.
And if you know the Spivies, you know they are servants too.
Yes.
They do work as a team. Their whole family
Hmm.
provides.
And they're
It's actually
growing.
kind of cool. They are growing. They're
Yep.
hungry. They're tenacious.
Yep.
They're so it is awesome because I was talking to him about it, and honestly, it's a dream because they all have their station that their kids work in and everything, and they get to work together. Like I picked up Wesley, my youngest, from school the other day, and he helped me clean some windows. And
It's the funnest thing, man.
there's nothing beats it. Nothing beats working with your kids.
I
So
when we window clean, there's this one lady. We go there all the time, once a month, and so I would literally. It was the only thing I did that day. We drive an hour, clean her house with my son. It'd take about an hour, hour and a half to clean it, and then we'd go to McDonald's. There was no Chick-fil-A there, so
yeah,
we'd go to McDonald's and have lunch, and then we'd
yep,
drive back. It was some of the funnest times with my kids. So,
yeah, it's the best. So my boys, anytime they help, they get $1 per place.
uh-huh.
And if they go all day with me, we get 15, 20 places. So they get $20 at the end of the day, and they're pumped.
Yeah,
So
it's yeah,
child labor, cheap labor, you can't beat it.
it's
Anyway, it's
volunteer.
yeah, it's character building.
Yes.
They're servants, so it's what they do. They're not supposed to get paid. Anyway,
All right.
no, it is the best, and to work with your kids. So for the Spivies to work as a family to make coffee, you
That's
can't
fun.
beat it. So
Yeah.
order from Coffee Bun Roastery and get your coffee. You won't regret it. You will not regret it. I'm going to
All right.
put this little banner across the screen. Promo code BIZA2EZ, BIZA 2, the number 2 EZ, and they'll be able to send you anything over $30 free shipping, which is awesome in and of itself. So I also clicked the other one for like and subscribe and click the
There you go.
bell.
Sweet. All right.
Anyway,
Next thing, books.
books.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are you reading right now? You got a ton of books behind you.
Um, where is it? Ah, here it is. Hidden Potential by
Okay.
Adam Grant. Fantastic book. He's written another one called Give and Take. Highly recommend it. This just came out, I think, a couple months ago. I actually got to meet him, and he signed my book.
Oh wow. That's
Yeah, it was awesome. So
Where'd
super.
you meet?
It was at a conference, and he was a keynote speaker there, and so
That's awesome.
yeah, I had him sign both my books, so it was great. It was really
Is
cool.
is that the same conference you met Dude Perfect at?
Yes.
That's awesome. You sent me a picture was that about a week ago or something, where
A couple weeks ago,
a
I
couple
think.
weeks ago met him in the airport.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
pretty cool.
yeah,
They're cool dudes.
yeah. Really, it was really cool.
That's
Uh,
awesome. So that book, is it about what's give us a kind of a
Here,
little
I'll read the
summary.
blurb. It is let's see. Hidden Potential offers a new framework for raising aspirations and exceeding expectations. Basically, it's a tool for you to help unlock other people's hidden potential.
Mm,
It's a gift that you can give to others, um, and so it's the science of achieving great things too. It's really scientific, and it's some of it's even very biblical, and yeah, it's super good, super good. Talks about imperfectionist versus excellence, so mindsets. So super good, easy read. I say it's not in the weeds.
right.
Else, it basically highlights a story that illustrates the principle. So
Yeah.
definitely great book. So,
Well, I don't mean to be that guy, but I'm not currently reading a book outside of the Bible because I'm on a read through the Bible in 6 months. So it is quite daunting.
yeah,
A lot more reading there than what I normally do. And so, not really reading anything else right now. That's kind of taken up a little bit of what I'm doing. But I do listen to some podcasts and some different clips. And obviously, Dave Ramsey's always good. There's so much stuff there where it's just like this, it just smacks me right in the face, and I
yeah,
love him for it. But there's this guy too, and he's got some really good stuff. Um, Podcasts are a little bit more iffy um, to suggest, just because of different people have different ways of speaking and
sure.
colorful
Yeah.
ways and different things like that. Um,
The
so you got to
E means excellent, right? Next to it, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes. But I listened to this podcast here, the Home Expert podcast. Uh, just some really good clips for people who are in the service business. So again, take that with a grain of salt. But there's a ton of podcasts out there that just give you so much, and so it's it can be honestly content overload if you're not
Yeah.
careful.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I hear stuff all the time, and I'm like, I have no idea who said it. I wish I
Right.
could find it. I wish I
I
had a
know.
place where I could clip everything and keep it because man, there's just good stuff.
Yeah. Well, here, so we can segue into this. I just thought of this would be a great segment. The pithy or pithy, I don't know how you say it, uh, segment. So your favorite short, you know,
Mm,
saying. And so I'll give you one that based on what you were just saying. Someone said that they don't read for comprehension; they read to shape their thinking.
hmm,
And so he read like hundreds of books a year, and
right.
so and that kind of helped me because sometimes I read books and like I don't remember a lot from this. I remember a few things, and it definitely comes back and helps me, analyze situations or pull from a memory bank of ideas. And sometimes I don't remember where I get them, so I always tell people, this is probably not original with me. I probably read
Right.
this somewhere, but let me tell you this. So
Yeah.
that helped me. Uh,
Hmm.
as I would read and ingest or digest a lot of material. So
Yeah, because so much comes in. It's more about just training the process of learning as opposed to what you're actually learning.
mhm.
Well, and
Right,
that's weird for me too, because my like I said, my full time job is working at a church, and so I'm in that world. Writing Sunday school curriculum, doing the weekly stuff that needs to be done.
right,
Like after this, I got to go up there and do some cleaning and different things like that, just for prep for tomorrow. Um, but it's when you're in that world and you're getting information, like I'm writing Sunday school curriculum for the whole church, but it's like a 26-week series. I
hmm
have so much information coming at me. There's no way to remember who said what or keep it all straight. So I
right.
just put at the bottom of all the lessons, this is not all from my brain, I promise. And just try to cite as many
Thought
sources
of
as I
that?
can.
Probably.
But it's crazy when stuff starts mixing in and it's like Jesus walked on the water and made some chicken sandwiches and cleaned some windows while he was wait, no, that didn't happen. Oh my goodness, everything's mixing up. It's probably not a great thing, but well, it's good to be back. I'm
Yep.
excited. We'll try to do a little bit more than what we have been doing. I want to get back into some interviews. There's some people I've been waiting to sharpen my interview skills before I brought them on, just because they're kind of daunting guests.
Yeah.
So we have some of them coming up, and not that our guests have not been daunting up until this
Right.
point,
For
but
sure.
it's I want to get really good at what we're doing and keep people coming on, and hopefully one day maybe have like Dave Ramsey or something on our
Yeah.
podcast, which would be crazy. But
See, we're how we talked about with the end in mind. We're gonna
yes.
update this podcast like there's millions of people listening right now.
Right, right. So go to our social media, our Facebook pages. One thing that we almost did today, and hopefully we will do soon, is maybe go live. I know we've kind of talked about that. There's our banner again. Like and subscribe and click the bell, whatever. But I think it'd be fun to do a live one and then have people ask questions because our software can handle that. So
Right.
we might try to set up a live one someday, and
Yeah.
we just
Who knows?
need
This might
participation.
this might turn into the way Dude Perfect came about, right?
You're
They're
right.
just filming videos for no reason, and then all of a sudden they're this huge entertainment
Right. This
complex.
is our visions of Granger, and then we're eventually this will just turn into a fishing podcast and a fishing, a fishing show where we just
We're gonna have so many
people.
random segments.
You're right, right, and people are just paying us to do activities that we want to do. That's
Right.
what a life Dude Perfect has. That's crazy.
Well,
Well,
anyways, all right, man.
yep.
Good
Okay.
visiting with you. I'll text you. We'll talk about the next time.
Absolutely. Next episode coming soon. Thanks for joining us. Right at 45 minutes. Look at us. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
we're
All
getting
right,
better.
we are getting good.
There's no such thing as a bad short podcast, right?
There's another pithy statement.
Yeah,
Perfect. Or a short message.
short message.
That's true. All right. So, what do we say? Eat some chicken and clean your windows.
Yeah,
I think
sounds
that's
good.
it. All right. See ya.